In studio right now is Alex Nicolette, and you're a teacher, a lecturer at SUNY Oneonta, right?
Yes.
Good morning.
Morning.
But you're a nutritionist as well, and you run Alex Nicolette Nutrition Counseling on Oxford Road.
Yep.
Good morning. All right, well, right off the bat, what do you think of the keto diet?
So the keto diet is interesting, and everybody is asking me about it, and it's kind of one of those hot diet trends.
It's big right now. I mean, you start to see restaurants say things like, do you want your burger with bread or without?
Right.
And, you'd want it without.
The keto-friendly menu.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the thing about keto is that originally this diet was meant as a medical nutrition therapy, and it was used to treat seizures. Because in some people, the reason why they have a seizure is because of a glucose transport protein deficiency within the brain.
Okay.
So this is like a change in your metabolic state. You're no longer using glucose as a fuel source. So they actually can use this as a therapy to decrease the rate or the likelihood of seizures if it's based on your glucose transport protein deficiency. So they'll use it in children. They actually will bring people into a hospital and start them on a ketosis diet and then bring them home and have them continue. And so originally that's what it was used for. But today we're seeing that people want to use it for weight loss. So that's the trend.
And it's pretty popular. So what do you think of it in terms of health?
Yeah, so overall, it again, as far as weight loss, I've done some research because I'm working on my doctorate in clinical nutrition, and I had to do a research study looking at a meta-analysis of all of the studies. And so based on what I've seen, it really does not matter what your macronutrient distribution is. Calories are what really matters. So as far as should I be in a ketotic state, should I be depriving myself of carbohydrates and just be working on, my fats and my proteins, there are some downsides to that. So some people think it helps them to use their fat because I'm only using fat as a fuel. The problem with that thinking is that you're always using a ratio of your fuel sources. So depending on what you're doing, you're burning either carbs, fats, or proteins because those are the energy providing nutrients.
Right.
Our B vitamins help us to break them down and use them. Our body prefers to first use carbs, and especially for the brain. But we're always using a ratio. If you're at rest, you're mostly going to be using fats because that's mostly our available energy source.
So one thing that is true is if you go on the keto diet and you stay on it for a while, which I've been on for a while, off and on, the minute you go off and you start eating carbs, you get all screwed up.
Right.
You shoot right up. You gain weight quickly.
And part of it is because it's more of a drastic diet approach. So from the research I've seen, it doesn't matter what, again, macronutrient distribution you're using. It's your calories. So if you were restricting whole food groups, which on keto you do restrict whole food groups, you're taking away your carbs. You're going to be taking away a big portion of your calories that you could have been using. And you're also taking in different types of calories. So your reaction right after that is, oh, your body's now using carbs. So it's a totally different fuel source. And once you put yourself into ketosis, you're used to using fats. So that is how your brain is functioning. That's how your body's been working. So now you're throwing yourself off completely. So going from keto to taking in carbs to going back on it, in my opinion, that's kind of like a fad diet that you're going off and on.
Right.
And so
otherwise, you just got to stay on it.
Yeah. And so long term, that can have some difficult side effects. So in my practice, I like to do a holistic approach where I'm looking at someone's full medical history because that's my background. I know how to assess that. Yeah. I'm also looking at their diet. I'm looking at everything they're eating, what vitamins they're getting, what minerals, what is their macronutrient distribution, and how can I potentially give them some advice, 1 or 2 small goals or a meal plan to help them have a more realistic, practical, and sustainable diet approach.
And the idea is to stick with whatever you're.
So
stay with it.
Yeah, if you're on a diet and you don't see yourself doing this for the rest of your life, and if you don't see yourself enjoying your life and enjoying your food, because I'm a foodie, I love to eat. I'm Italian. I like the pasta. So for me, keto is not a great option because I don't get to enjoy the things that are part of my family, my culture.
So I want to add, because you're on this, right? We talked about this.
Yeah, I hate it.
But
I'm on it.
Well, so here's the problem. I want to ask your opinion on something.
Yeah.
Bill will go 6 weeks, no carbs. I mean, virtually no carbs. And then you'll have, like, a holiday comes
Very
up or
low
vacation,
carbs.
and then
Yeah.
you're carb, right? And you enjoy yourself. But then the problem is you put the weight back on. So is it more successful and sustainable for, let's say, Bill, okay, on Monday night you're going to have pasta, but then you go 2 days limiting or restricting carbs. Is it more will he still get the benefits of the weight loss if he's working in one day, or if he does carbs one day, he takes 2 off? Or is that still, in your opinion, a fad diet?
In my opinion, that's still a fad diet because we're taking away a whole food group. So unless you really need to be on a carbohydrate restriction, and the other thing is I need to look at someone's medical history. I need to know, do you have a history of diabetes? Do you have insulin resistance?
Cholesterol levels.
Cholesterol levels.
Yeah.
What's your HDL, your LDL, your triglycerides? Because that's all going to influence. But one thing I would say is when you're on keto, you're taking away fiber, and that's a really important phytonutrient that you need to fight diseases, to make sure you feel full longer, so that you feel satiated and you don't feel like you're deprived of foods. And you're also going to be lacking your B vitamins from the whole grains, which again, that's also where you get your fiber from. The other thing is you can potentially, if you're in a ketogenic state, truly for a long period of time, the acidity of your blood can get thrown off because ketone bodies are acids. So you can potentially have some issues with that. So like I said originally, and they still use this diet therapy for people with seizures, those people, children, adults that are treating for that, they're going to their doctor, they're getting blood levels taken. So people that just want to do ketogenic, you can do a modified form of this if you find that it works well for you, because some people like to do a very low carb, high protein, moderate fat intake diet, because that's going to make you feel full longer because you get the protein, you've got the fat.
Right.
Those help you stay satiated. So if you like that, if you like the ketogenic and you're feeling like I could do this longer because it makes me feel full, I would recommend maybe modifying it a little. Get some carbs in there. Get maybe just a lower carb version of the ketogenic diet, so you get those fibers in. You've got the whole grains, but you're not in a ketogenic state.
How do people reach you if they would like your guidance?
Yes, AlexNicoletteNutrition.com is my website. You can also find me on Facebook, Alex Nicolette Nutrition Counseling, and on Instagram, Alex Nicolette Nutrition.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much.
Thanks for having me.
For the bad news.
Yeah.
Thank you. I knew it was coming.